In this video, I'm going to show you everything you have to know about the new raid characters. Now, the new event that just released actually released all the raids except for one. I'll get to that in a second. Again, so you can get all the characters, even those that have been removed from the game, they've been brought back. All My Hero Academia characters used to be gone, and now Deku 100% and Vigilant Deku is back as well, so you can get every single raid character you've ever have been able to get, except for Witch Megament, which I do not have myself as well, but that was the first raid character that was released, so you can't get her. But other than that, every other character is still here. There are a lot of characters, and that is expensive if you want to get everything. And you don't have to get everything except if you want to get the stat points, to get more stat points and get more stats here. But if you don't want to get everyone, which I don't think you need to get unless you want to get stats points, then I'm here to tell you who you should get, why they're good, and this is all with testing. So I've tested all the characters, and this is these are the results I've gotten. In general, I make a lot of information. I just put out all the information I have about characters and everything in the spreadsheet. So subscribe if you want to see more showcases and for me to continue working on it. Anyway, it includes every single character in the game except for shadow characters, and I try to get move information, I try to get assist information, I try to get raid information, dimension information, everything about just everything you have to know about a character in general. Now I'm almost 2/3 done with the raid tests. So I have one test where you use bad gear and one with good gear. Now with bad gear, I mean I use bad cards, so 3 common cards. I use a very bad fruit, a very bad pet. I use a very bad accessory. As you can see, this is really terrible. And I use no assists except for Priestess and Sakura. Now Priestesses have Celestial, but in general Priestess and Sakura does not deal any damage. And no trait on the character I'm testing. This makes it so you have basically the worst stats as you can possibly have, excluding the stats I get from just collection and everything like that. So most of you guys are in bad stats, just have bad stats in general, and when using good stats or good cards or good stats just in general, good gear, I use these mythic cards, so I now have very good substats. They have the main they have the same main attack, these common and mythic ones. I use pretty good assists, Kirito and Levi. Now I started this test with Kirito with Celestial and Levi partners. I'm gonna use that throughout the whole tests. And then I use a better ODM gear. It's a 5 out of 5 ODM gear, excluding Fruit CDR because that's new. And then I use Reaper Fruits with Garo Pets, and then no trait still, and then test the characters like that way. So you have very good gear. It's not the best. Celestial trait does change things to characters, quite a lot of characters actually, so it's not the best gear. And those are the 2 tests I've done on all the raid characters except for a few, and now I'm gonna show you who are the better ones. So yeah, I've almost done all bad gear and all good gear. I'm gonna try to get best gear eventually, but best gear I use Celestial traits, so I have to get Celestial trait on every single character in the game, so that's gonna take a long time, and these tests all rely on me having Celestial trait as well, so these are the only ones I can do right now because they don't require Celestial traits. Now the ones in this dark red color are limited raid characters, so I've done all of them except for a few, and in general I have tried my best to do the best I can with all characters, no bias. I expected coming into this that Black Asta was gonna be the best character, but it actually wasn't that for me. It might be for best gear, but most people are saying that Black Asta is the best character. I trust them with best gear that it's gonna be the best, but in my test so far, It is not, and I'm just gonna go from the stats and the information I've gathered in these tests. So let's get into the tier lists. So for bad gear, this is the tier list. I have a few reference characters. I have 3 here: Kokushibo, Rimuru, and Gem Sunjin Woo. So Gem Sunjin Woo is a gem character that a lot of beginners are recommended to buy because he's really good at the beginning. Rimuru Awakening is actually the best character, the best gem character, non-limited permanent gem character you can get if you have bad stuff. So he is just better. It's surprising, but just because probably the Awakening move and having no pets actually just doesn't matter because long cooldowns anyway. Rimuru is actually the best gem character. That's just set in stone. So we have a very good one, a very common gem character, and the very best gem character here. And we have the best in general boss rush character. Is not the best boss rush character for damage, but in general the best boss rush character. So without a good pet, without good stats in general, this is the tier list. Esthef Awakening is the best, and Asta does come in second. Now most people say Asta is the best, but in no pets, with most people having no pet, no good gear, Esthef is actually going to be better. However, Esthef is also more expensive than Asta because of easy reasons actually. Awakening. You need her Awakening to actually be good, and yeah, that's more raid tokens than you have to spend on Asta. The reason why Esthef is so good now is because she's been buffed twice, I believe. Once she got buffed together with Yorichi, and once she got buffed on her own event or something. She's gotten buffed twice. She's really strong now. Asta is second. Vigilant Deku and Infinity Gojo are 2 amazing choices if you don't have a pet as well. And then we have A tier. I'm just gonna list through them. These are all really good characters as well. A tier and S tier characters I can recommend you buying for a main if you have bad stuff. If you like the character, you can buy it. Even though S tier characters are in general much better, A tier characters are viable and you will not lose out on a lot of rewards. Yorichi Awakening, Jotaro, Mash, Dio, and Mob are all amazing characters without good gear as well. Then we have Rin, Accelerator, Naruto Beast with the Awakening, and Deku 100%. They're pretty good without good gear as well. They can spam a lot, not Naruto Awakening, but he has just Awakening and strong moves, so it's okay. The other 3 can spam a lot, and they are really strong. Now we have Rimuru in C tier, and everyone below this Rimuru tier is just worse than Rimuru, worse than a gem character that you can get. So I would not recommend you getting them at all because they're not good assists, which I'll show you later, and they're not good. They're worse than a gem character, so you should not get them. This includes Tanjiro and Goku, which are the best ones in this. Just don't get here. Eren, Shanks, Ichigo, and Tengen. Even though Goku is kind of unique in general as a main for damage, don't get him. Even though most of these characters can be used maybe for something. Tengen for dimensions, Shanks for raids of sometimes. Eren is a good time challenge character. Even though they have some uses for damage in raids without any good gear, they're just worse than gem characters, so I wouldn't get them at all. Mitsuru, Denji, Obito are all really bad actually without a pet and everything, but they're slightly better than Gem Sunjin Woo. So if you get them in a drop or something and you have Gem Sunjin Woo, you can actually use them and they're gonna be better than Gem Sunjin Woo. However, Demon Lord Rimuru is the worst limited raid character in the game without good gear, and he is also worse than Gem Sunjin Woo, so you should never get this. Now, with a good pet, with good stats, with good cards, the good gear I showed you, it changes a bit. Now, I have Kokushibo here as well, and I also have Gem Sunjin Woo, but I changed the best Rimuru to just power, because now, with a good pet and good gear, power is the best gem permanent gem character you can get in terms of damage, and not Rimuru. Rimuru falls off a bit. So power is here. Everyone below power, you shouldn't really get in terms of damage, because you can get power, which is just better. So that's why I have a few set recommendations. These in the S tier. Everyone below the A tier, which I'll go through now, are just not really worth it because power can out damage them all, and most of them aren't over Rimuru anyway. And when using bad gear anyway. Few of them are, but the exceptions aren't many, and they still are pretty bad. So Naruto Beast Awakening, Mob, Jotaro, Mash, Accelerator, and Rin, they're all worse in power, but they're still better than Kokushibo. So if you have the best boss rush character in the game, which is Kokushibo in general, then you can still have use of these. Then in general, Goku, Deku, Shanks, and Deku 100% are gonna be pretty good, but they're not better than power, and they're not better than those in A tier. C tier, Obito and Tengen, they're pretty bad. They're kind of mid in the average, like in general, but average is not that good considering how half the characters in the game are basically gem characters. And then we have Ichigo, which is the only character in D tier which is actually better than Gem Sangjin-woo. After that, Gem Sangjin-woo is better than these characters, which you should never get these characters at all because they are just never worth it. They're basically not better than the best the best gem character ever, and they're almost worse in general, just on average the same as a very common gem character, Denji, Mitsuri, and Eren. And Demon Lord Rimuru is the worst character in the game. Now these characters are really good S tier characters. Gojo Infinity is actually the best character in my tests, because he can spam so much with his fourth ability, and with a good pet you can get the fourth ability on a cycle very fast. And he has a lot of damage. Every time you use his fourth ability you use 8 other abilities. That just accumulates to a lot of damage. Estef is still really good, and just 1 million damage behind is Asta. They're basically interchangeable. If I did another test with Asta, I actually did 2 tests, so never mind, not really. But if I did a few more tests with Asta and a few more tests with Estef, if I averaged them out, maybe Asta would even be better than Estef. But so far, right now, Estef in my spreadsheet is better than Asta, but it's basically insignificant. These 3 are really good, and also Dio, Deku Vigilant, and Yorichi are also really good. They're all really good, on par with Roblox characters, almost a lot of Roblox characters, not the best ones. And yeah, these are really viable. Now if you just go through these and check which ones are the best in general, Estef, Asta, Deku, Dio is kinda good, not really. Yorichi is really good. Yeah, those are the characters that are pretty good. Now there are 4 characters that I didn't include in this tier list. It's because I have these 3 characters, but I have traits on them already, so I can't do these tests. But Garo is gonna be around B or A tier. Mihawk and Sukuna is also gonna be around B or A tier. They're a bit worse than Mob, and Garo's a bit worse than Rin, so Mihawk may be like top of B tier, maybe next to Rin, and then Sukuna and Garo may be bottom B tier. Witch Megaman is not good, but I don't have her, but she's not that good. I would put her as an estimate in around D tier or E tier. She's not that good for damage. Either way, you shouldn't get these for main, so it shouldn't matter. Now the same goes in the good gear tier list. Now even though I don't have them in the tier list, it shouldn't matter who you should buy because they're not gonna affect the main you're using. Garu might be B or top of B, maybe bottom A tier. Mihawk might be middle A tier. Sukuna might be bottom A tier. And then we have Witch Megaman, maybe D or C tier, maybe even E tier, on par with Eren. So it doesn't change the main you should buy. To take a break from that, let's just check in the in-game shop. As a main character for your main damage, where you should have in your main slot, equip main, you have a few options. Estef Awakening is probably the most balanced and all-around character you can get, no matter how good you are. She's really good as a main, and she's really strong. However, after 3,600 raid tokens, you need to buy the Awakening for 2,500 raid tokens. That's why you could buy her, but it's actually not the most efficient character to buy. Now, Asta is probably the second best character in this category, and Asta is probably the best bet. Asta is really good. Now, he's not the best in my test, but in general, overall, for the efficiency, Asta is probably the best. 3,600 raid tokens, you unlock everything with him. He's really good without a pet, he's really good with a pet, with good gear, with bad gear. No matter where you are in the game, he's actually really good. And he's just 3,600 raid tokens to unlock. Now, alternatives to Asta, you don't need another main after Asta, really. But if you want another character, or if you don't want Asta and if you want to buy another character, you still have SDF as an alternative. You have Deku, you have Dio, you have Gojo Infinity, but those are about the options. Maybe even Yorichi. Those are the options, and all the other characters are pretty not that good, honestly. You shouldn't buy the other ones for mains, so the alternatives or just Black Asta are the mains you should buy. Now, I'm not telling you to just buy one character, even though I'm telling you not to buy a lot of characters. You could buy 3 raid characters. If you buy 3 raid characters and then go for gacha, and the gacha characters are on a whole different level. If you buy 3 raid characters and then go for gacha, that would be sufficient. So 1 main character and 2 assists. So let's go on to the assist tier list as well. So one thing to note is that assists do not just depend on the damage, even though a lot of them just have damage. A lot of them also have effects, and the effects are usually just better than having a lot of damage. So I'll keep that in mind when looking at this tier list. So here we have some reference characters. We have the 2 best assists in the game, Frieren and Dio over Heaven. We also have the 2 best gem characters in the game. We have Saber Awakening and Rimuru Awakening. We also have the worst assist in the game, almost. Naofumi and the non-damaging assists are actually the worst ones, but these are basically the worst ones. And then we also have a few gem assists that just deal damage. Now, otherwise here I have all raid characters in the tier list, because I have all information about them, and the 3 best assists you can get are Garo, Yorichi, and Estef. That's why I personally think Estef is a really great choice, because she is a great main and she is a great assist. However, Yorichi and Garo are both slightly better than Estef as an assist. So if you just want an assist, Garo and Yorichi are gonna be your best 2 choices, because Garo is the best assist for limited raid characters and Yorichi is the second best limited raid character assist. Estef is the 3rd best, so if you just want 2 assists, get Yorichi and Garo, but otherwise I would actually recommend getting Estef because she's a good main as well. These are the only characters that are better than the 2 best gem characters, because the 2 best gem characters actually give attack bonus on the awakening and has a lot of damage, so they're pretty good. The other characters are just worse than Saber and Rimuru, so you shouldn't really buy them for assists, because you can get gem assists that are better. Though C tier do have effects of their own, but they both give critical chance, though this gives a bit more critical chance, even though, and for a longer duration, even though this is a 90-second cooldown assist and this is a 60-second cooldown assist. This just gives critical chance for 4 seconds. It's not that good. All in D tier and below just deal pure damage. Mob is really strong. If you just want pure damage, then yeah, these are pretty strong. Yes, you could use all of these in D tier. E tier are pretty bad because they're worse than gem characters, so I wouldn't recommend getting them at all for assists. F tier even worse, and L, yeah, it's just to show that they're still better than nothing. But yeah, in general for assists, get Garo, Yorichi, or Estef. Now, Garo and Yorichi are the best ones, but Estef is not a bad choice. So in conclusion, to get 1 main and 2 assist characters, as a main character, you can get, let's go to Raid Shop, you can get Asta, with alternatives such as Deku, Dark Deku, or Vigilant Deku, Ice Queen or Estef, World or Dio, Infinity Shiro or Infinity Gojo, and Avenger or Yorichi. Those are really good options. Otherwise, Asta is probably the best choice. For assists, the best assist is Garo, The second best assist is Yurichi, and the third best assist is Ice Queen Estef, which is, as I said before, a good main as well. So getting Ice Queen Estef is just a very good jack of all trades, which you could get, but it's not the best, so you don't need to get her. But she's just very good, top 3 at basically everything. So she's just very good as one character you can get, but she's also more expensive. So the best optimal case would probably be buying Asta, Garo, and Yurichi, or just Asta, Garo, and Estef. If you just want to buy 2 characters and reset into Estef because she's a good main and assist, reset strat, you can buy Ice Queen Estef and just Garo, and those are 2 characters. It's cheaper than buying 3 characters, even though you have an Awakening here. I mean, you do have an Awakening Garo, but that's something you had to buy anyway in assists. So then you have any character in the beginning slots, reset into Estef, and you have 2 good assists, Garo and Estef, and you use Estef as a main. Otherwise, you have all the information you have to just know who the best character is. And those are the best raid characters in the game. Let's check the tier list again. Here we have the tier list again. We have reference characters, otherwise the red markings are the raid characters. We have the assists here, only get these 3. We have the raid characters, Garu's around A to B tier, Mihawk probably like top A tier, low B tier, Sukuna probably like reverse, low A tier, top B tier, Sukuna probably like middle or top B tier, Wish Megaman probably D or E tier. And in the good gear test, Garo is probably B tier or A tier, Mihawk is probably low A tier, and Sukuna is probably high B tier or low A tier. Megaman also not that good, probably D or C tier, maybe even E tier. Now, yes, get probably Asta. Asta is good, top 3 raid character no matter what. Asta is really good. You can also get Estef, top 3 as well. You can also get Gojo, top 5. Dio is a bit worse without a pet, but he's still really good. You can also get Yurichi. Yurichi is good. Otherwise, get Asta. And then assist, get Garo and Yurichi, because those are the best. You could also get Estef. That's everything you have to know, and in the next video I'm probably gonna make it's gonna be about how to get as much raid tokens as possible so you can get these characters and then roll for gacha characters as fast as possible, because you need raid tokens now instantly, because you just have a lot of raid tokens to spend, because there are a lot of characters. You could, like I said in the beginning, get all of these characters for stat points and just because they're limited, of course, but that's expensive. That's why I gave you 3 characters to buy, so you don't have to buy everything if it's too expensive. But next video I'm gonna make is probably just to how to get as many raid tokens as possible. So subscribe if you want more information about characters, such as the spreadsheet information I've given you now, and just see future videos. And yeah, hope you enjoyed this video, and see you in the next one.